Welcome to week 2, day 1 of your Planksgiving adventure. So I appreciate you being here. So we are going to start again on the wall today because it's an unusual posture. And let's start with the unusual ones first, and then we will go down to the platform. So we're doing a little something, and then something a little tweaked. All right. So same thing we've been doing with this lateral plank on the wall. All right. Gets into the shoulders a little bit more. So feet are side by side. And again, where you have your feet relative to the wall, that is up to you. The closer in you go, the easier it's going to be. The farther away your legs go, the more challenging it becomes. So what works for you here? Okay, so again, I'm going to cheat in a little bit while I'm talking. It makes my life easier. All right, so core is engaged. Get the lower abdominals in, get those ribs to drop down. Feel length being created through your spine. And then we're going to start by bending the elbow a little bit. So we're going to hold this one today. So last week we moved. And again, if you're like, okay, I got that, go ahead and just walk yourself out a little bit. If you want to do this one on the ground, you're welcome to, but we are going to be moving with this. So as you're doing this, I want you to think about this shoulder. So step it back and in, relax your neck. Okay. And again, if you're feeling this in your wrist, feel free to go to the elbow. You could go for a little bit up onto that knuckle as well. But again, any of those work. You can put a little block under your hand, lift the wrist so it's not quite such an angle. All right, so from here, standing on that inside leg, I want you with control to slowly turn and face the wall. So now you're doing a one-handed plank. So you can put the weight back on that other leg. And again, so feet wider is more stable. Feet together is more challenging. And I want you to make sure that this hand is directly in front of this shoulder. So you're isolating that stabilization. So shoulder blade back and in. Elbow has the same amount of bend and then slowly rotate back to the side. Okay. So you can play. Which foot do you want to use to rotate? How do you want to rotate through those feet? Because you have to move those feet in order to get into this plank. And again, it depends on how you move. It may shift you off of the shoulder hand alignment. So really mind that. Try to keep the 90-degree angle across the chest, across the shoulder, across the arm, sorry. Arm, chest, 90 degrees. All right, so we're going to do that a few more times. So go ahead and do your options. Again, if you want to change it up a little bit, feel free to. Make it harder, make it easier. Again, make it feel better for you. I may say something's harder, but that might be easier for you, which is the reason we've labeled these options. All right, so the last time here, go ahead and fold around. And again, maybe you're walking back more, maybe you're walking in more, so that you can keep this alignment, keep your abs engaged, and stay square. Okay, this hand's out here doing the Macarena, whatever. All right, and then release, shake it out, and then we're going to do the other side. All right, so again, get your alignment, core engaged, ribs are down, shoulder blade back and in, relax your neck, elbows bent a little bit and pointing back. And again, where do you want to start with the feet position relative to the wall? Okay, so you're getting that stabilization. So try to make sure that you are a straight line from this outside shoulder all the way to that hands. Okay, so you're getting a little stretch, most likely at the pec. Again, depends on how you are, what's going on, you may or may not. All right, so then from here, core is engaged, slowly pivot on one foot until you are at the front. Facing the wall, you have this 90-degree angle from the arm across the shoulders. Just hold, again, do your options. Bend the elbow a little bit more if you need, straighten it out a little bit more, as long as it's not locked, we're good. All right, so your nice deep breaths, make sure you're breathing. Let's turn back to the side. Again, notice how the muscle work shifts when we go from side to front and then back again. There's different muscles activating, which is why it's good to do more than one style plank and more than one option. So maybe as we're going through today, you pick another option that you normally might not do. So how are you rotating the feet to get in line? 90 degrees from the shoulder across the elbows. Sorry, not across the elbows, across the shoulders, down to the hands. And again, elbows pointing slightly out, maybe a little bit more downward when you turn and face the wall. All right, we have one more rotation here. So again, push out with that hand a little bit. Get those posterior shoulder muscles to engage. See how that feels. Making sure you take a nice deep breath, check in with how is your alignment. Again, what are your other options? If you need, walk it out. Maybe you're on the ground doing these, your choice. Last time here, again, change it up a little bit. Maybe you bend the elbows, maybe you walk the feet farther away. What are your options here? All right, I'm gonna step away. You can keep going. Again, feel free to always pause this video and do what works for you. And if you want to keep doing it, you're welcome to. So that's going to bring us down to all fours. So again, I am going to talk through from this position. So this is easier for me. If you want to go to plank or plank with longer legs, different hand positions, if you want to come down to the elbows, you are most welcome to. All right, so we've got options here as always. If you want to stay at the wall and do it, again, that's your option. So last week we were working on rotation. So we're going to work on rotation again here. So wherever your lower body is, if the knees are in contact or the feet are in contact, I want you to push outward from the closest point that's down. So it's the kneeling plank, your knees are pressing out. And if it's a full plank, you're pressing out with the feet. And again, the width of your feet makes a difference. So you should feel the glutes are engaging. All right, so from here, so we can start down or we can start on the elbows. We can start up or start on the elbows. So you're going to slowly rotate down. So elbows, hips are staying still. And then slowly bring yourself back up. And then you're going to go to the other side. So engage the core first. Bend, drop one elbow down, bring it up. So if you started down on your forearms, you're going to rotate, press through on that, and then bring it. So it depends on where you're starting from as to how it looks, and that's perfectly fine. Again, what works for you, it's a little less strain on the wrist to start from the down position. So you're really focusing on control on that lower down if you are starting from this position. Okay, so core is engaged. Mind your low back, make sure it's good. Again, if you're in this up position, you are slow and control all the way down. You're descending floating. Okay, you're pushing out with that hand a little bit as you come back up. Okay, there's always a gentle push out to get you more into the back, as opposed to those pecs doing work. They're going to do work. We want to balance it out. So again, what level, what option are you at here? And again, if your wrists say that's enough, that's fine. Go to the wall, do this up against the wall. Perfectly fine. Make sure the lower body is staying active. And again, I'm going to let you keep going if that's what you choose to do. But again, another option, go slower. So whatever speed you're dropping that elbow, lifting that hand, the elbow, double it, make it longer. Again, give yourself more time on task. All right, option or exercise number 3. Getting my words confused today. All right, so hands go behind you. This is our reverse plank. So no toys are required today. Again, this one's more unusual, so we're going to keep this one easy. The next 2 days, we're going to elevate this one. So core engages first. Give me a gentle imprint. So you just lengthen the low back just a little bit. So it feels like you actually got a little bit longer in the low back. What's that just noticeable difference? That's what I'm looking for. All right, heels can press down. And again, you can do this from flat feet. You can do it with longer legs. What works for you? Elbows point back, shoulder blades are drawn together. So from here, push down on those heels, lift your hips. So take a breath or two here, nice long breath. If you find yourself shortening your breath, it's time to come back down. And then slow, release yourself back down. Okay, so again, how are you at the angle of the knee? Straighter legs. Typically it's more challenging because it's a longer lever, but it may not be for you. Maybe having the feet bent is more challenging. So again, options, right? All right, so shoulder blades back and in, connect the core. Pull back with those hands, push back a little bit, and then lift up. All right, so now I want you to play, we did the upper body on the other one. Now I want you to play with the lower body a little bit. So I want you to walk your feet out as far as you're comfortable, walk your feet in, whatever's comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be very long. But again, feel what's happening at the core. A lot of times as we do this, you'll see that the core rocks. So can you walk out and keep the core still? Okay, so if it's too much to do it in the position I was in, do it on the chair. Again, options, right? You need to, you can even do it on your elbows. Make sure that chair is padded. Okay, and walk the feet out. Leave video down as I do that. All right, so elbows down. So core was always engaged, right? All right, now you guys, so you're keeping that still and stable. You can even put hands on hips. Maybe that's going to limit your range of motion a little bit, but it gives you that biofeedback. So hands on the hips, thumbs on the ribs. Okay, same thing out here. You're still walking, whatever position you're in. Again, I'm just going through options. So again, you're focusing on this is open. Where's your head? So again, avoid cranking it forward, but have it pulled back just a little bit, but not too much. All right, so this is it for day one. Go through it, watch it again if you'd like to, and I will see you guys tomorrow for day two. Boom.